Halo, a name almost synonymous with the Xbox brand, and made Microsoft a major player in the video game console market. When you think Xbox, you think Halo. Now, while the franchise certainly isn't what it used to be, it still holds a very special place in a lot of fans' hearts. Now, I recently went through and ranked every single Call of Duty campaign, so I asked myself, why not do the same for the other major franchise shooter that I've been playing all my life? And the series that converted me to playing with inverted controls.
What? No. No. What? No. What?
Even though I was obsessed with Halo's multiplayer up until around Halo Reach, and definitely played that way more than Call of Duty's multiplayer, this is once again for campaigns only, so let's get started. Starting off at the bottom, I think everyone can collectively agree on this. Halo 5 has the worst campaign in the series, bar none. A lot of fans think that 343 messed up since day one, but I enjoyed what they did with Combat Evolved Anniversary and the story and campaign of Halo 4. But Halo 5 walked back every good thing Halo 4 did from a narrative standpoint. Game-only players were also lost as Blue Team, Chief's friends and fellow Spartan 2s since childhood, are thrown into the mix along with new playable character Locke and his fireteam Osiris. Locke is okay as a character, introduced in yet another non-game, the TV miniseries Halo Nightfall, but putting him, a Spartan 4, on par with Chief, one of the best Spartan 2s, was laughable. The narrative director and writer Brian Reed even stepped down after the negative reception with many fans, and many fans believe he was fired for his work. 343 Industries even went on record to say that they underestimated how much people loved playing as the Master Chief, as the majority of Halo 5's campaign was spent playing as Spartan Locke instead. Halo 5 was a victim of its own marketing. Hunt the Truth was an amazing marketing campaign that got all fans excited on where the story would go next. Everything surrounding the game was more interesting and set a dark tone for a game that ultimately paid off none of the expectations they set and had almost nothing to say. And look what they did to my girl Cortana. The gameplay itself is fine, it's okay. Gunplay and movement were solid. Fighting Warden Eternal a million times certainly didn't help, and was a boring-ass fight that sucked more and more every time you had to fight him. A series low point for me personally. Next up, we have the first of the twin-stick shooter experiences, Halo Spartan Assault. After years of rumored or cancelled Halo projects, Spartan Assault was the franchise's first mobile game. The developers spent time adapting Halo's distinctive elements to a touchscreen game meant to be played in short bursts, although shortly after release, it was on Xbox consoles and Steam. Spartan Assault is set between the events of Halo 3 and Halo 4. Players control, Sarah Palmer, annoyingly featured in Halo 4.
I thought you'd be taller.
And Edward Davis as they fight a new splinter faction of the Covenant. The game's campaign mode is divided into chapters that, then further subdivided into individual missions with a total of about 25 before downloadable content was added. The 360 and Xbox One versions of the game feature an addition of cooperative game mode designed to be different from that of the main campaign, and is probably where you will get the most fun out of this, but even with the format this game is in, it's still better than Halo 5 to me. Back-to-back twin-stick shooters, next up is the sequel to Spartan Assault, Spartan Strike. The developers incorporated feedback from Spartan Assault to improve the game, improving the controls and, mission variety. Promethean enemies were added from Halo 4, and players can customize their starting weapon loadouts before starting a mission, as well as choosing to add skulls like in the main series to increase difficulty and improve personal scores. Campaign is a tad shorter, with 20 missions with objectives revolving around clearing areas, surviving enemy waves, protecting objectives, or reaching endpoints of a level. There is no co-op, however, which is a letdown, but unlike Spartan Assault, the game features no microtransactions, so it goes up slightly because of that. Halo Wars 2, the second RTS Halo game for consoles, and probably the best looking RTS I've ever played personally. The animations and units are somehow both cartoony and lifelike at the same time, and in a good way. And don't even get me started on Blur Studios doing the cinematics. This is some of the best looking campaign cinematics in gaming, continuing on from their work on Halo Wars and Halo 2 Anniversary. The game is set in 2559, 28 years after the events of Halo Wars, and shortly after the events of Halo 5 Guardians. Everyone has been in cryosleep from the end of the first game, so for the crew of the Spirit of Fire it hasn't been long at all. A couple of redesigns and recast are here, with Gideon Emery taking the role of Captain James Cutter, and he does an amazing job as always. Meeting new character Isabel, a UNSC logistics AI operating at a research facility on the Ark from Halo 3, when an alien faction called the Banished invades. The Banished are led by the brute warlord Atriox and rose to power following the Covenant's demise. Combat is still balanced by a rock-paper-scissors system, in which ground vehicles are generally effective against infantry are effective against aircraft, and aircraft are effective against ground vehicles. Every unit has at least one special ability, in addition to regular attacks. Red Team, comprised of Jerome 092, Douglas 042, and Alice 130 from the first Halo Wars, stands out a bit more here, with leader Jerome taking the spotlight, and honestly, if another Spartan had to take the reins from Master Chief, I would love to see a game with him and AI Isabel teaming up. The 3 campaign expansions were also great, with you taking control of the Banished and fighting the long forgotten Flood once again. A great sequel to an already great game.
What do we do?
You hold on.
Wait, what? Wait, a
Halo Wars. I don't think people understand how important this game was for RTS fans on consoles, as there weren't many at the time, and the quality and care that Ensemble Studios put into not only making this game amazing to play on controller, but also having a really good story to accompany it shouldn't be overlooked. Ensemble designed the game specifically for the Xbox 360 controller in an attempt to circumvent issues present in previous console RTS titles. For example, the A button is used for selecting units. A single tap of the button selects one unit. Double tap selects all units of the same type. The D-pad navigates to current battles and cycles through bases, while the right analog stick adjusts the camera angle. A radial menu is used for base construction, and it just works. Combat in Halo Wars is balanced by, like I said before, a rock, paper, scissors kind of system like Fire Emblem. In general, ground vehicles are effective against infantry is better against aircraft is better against vehicles. Most units have a unique special ability. For example, human marines throw grenades, while the Warthog can run over enemies. Humans have access to their ship, the Spirit of Fire, and its special abilities as well. The game takes place in 2531, around 20 years before the events of Halo Combat Evolved, and showcases the first time we see other Spartan 2s in action. And boy do they look good with Blur Studios handling the cinematics. An absolutely legendary studio known for its incredible CG cinematics. And in terms of its soundtrack, Halo Wars actually has some of the best ambient music in the franchise in my opinion, even better than some of Marty's tracks. The characters and story campaign carry you through a lengthy journey with arguably one of the best RTSs for console. Halo Infinite. It was a toss-up between this and the next game on this list, but I had to put this lower because as good as the story of this campaign is as an improvement from Halo 5, they just had so much course correcting to do, and a lot of it happened behind the scenes or told through flashbacks of Cortana. Delayed an entire year, missing the Series X's launch window due to the incredible negative reception the graphics received. And who could forget Superstar Craig? Development hell plagued the game for years, and they even had to bring in the man himself, Joseph Staten, former lead writer and cinematic director of the Halo series at Bungie, to join as campaign project lead for Halo Infinite. Bringing back Chief as the only playable character was a good first step to right the wrongs of Halo 5, and they also replaced Cortana with not Cortana, the weapon, the youngest iteration of her we've seen, and interestingly enough, also first of her kind. Whereas Cortana was a clone of a human brain, Halsey's, the weapon is a clone of Cortana, an AI. Main enemies this time returning are from Halo Wars 2, The Banished, on the Forerunner ring world Zeta Halo. Branching from what Halo campaigns we're used to by now, 343 opted to create a semi-open world with Infinite using its brand new Slip Space engine. You can capture forward operating bases to request vehicles and weapons to tackle your objectives any way you'd like, using new armor equipment like the grapple hook to swing around the map like Spider-Man. The more linear levels serve to advance the story and can be replayed once completed via the in-game TAC map. Collectibles found in the environment, such as audio logs, provide additional story details, and there are even optional side bosses located around the map you can find and kill to gain their unique weapon, and then you can even request it anytime at an FOB. Campaign co-op wasn't there for launch, but when it did show up, it still retains that amazing feeling of goofing off with your buddies or sweating hard if you turn more skulls on. A big step up from Halo 5's campaign. Hopefully they can do even better with the next game, but who really knows with 343, it's really a toss-up. Halo 4. I still remember watching the E3 trailer for the first time. Both of them, the reveal trailer and the launch year one, both still give me chills to this day. Was it as good as I imagined at the time? No, but damn did I enjoy the story and campaign anyways. Taking over from Bungie, Halo 4 was 343's first new game in the Halo franchise, one I personally enjoyed, but fans like to give 343 absolutely no credit for anything. True, they have done a lot wrong with this franchise, but I do not consider Halo 4 among those failures. Halo 4 takes place in 2557, 4 years after the events of Halo 3. Chief has been in cryo this whole time, in half a ship floating in space, while Cortana has been going crazy to reaching the end of her very short 7-year AI lifespan, imagining a house with kids with John and snuggling up to his cryopod when he's sleeping. Anyways, after waking up and crashing on Requiem, Chief is determined to fight his way through new, technically very old enemies called the Protheans and the Didac to get Cortana to Halsey to save his super sexy AI girlfriend. What more motivation can one guy need? Steve Downes and Jen Taylor as Chief and Cortana carry this campaign story, and probably the best performance either has had, and finally letting Chief talk a bit more, probably because both of them were in the same booth at the same time, actually talking to each other and interacting with each other. Mission variety is also great to me. 1 minute you're in the jungle, the next you're in some desert escorting a mammoth vehicle, to another minute you're climbing into one of the new vehicles, the Mantis, love this thing, to having another absolutely brilliant space, mission, Death Star trench run kind of thing. New weapons are essentially just reskins of UNSC weapons, but the animations and sound are well done. Speaking of sound, the music. Overall, pretty good, but definitely feeling Marty O'Donnell's lack of music here, with the exception of 117, which was composed by Kazuma Junoichi. It's Chief's personal theme that plays during the last level, an absolute banger. Also a first for the series is being able to sprint without the use of equipment, a change that has stayed with Halo till this day. Very underrated, and I feel Halo fans judge this game's campaign a bit too harshly. Okay, now we're getting into the real nitty-gritty, Bungie's Halo games. Sad to say, I gotta start with Halo 2. Now, if I were grading these on the overall package, including multiplayer, Halo 2 would be my forever number one. The nostalgic memories I have of playing multiplayer with my friends for years is priceless to me. But alas, this is for campaign only. And even though it's at the bottom of my Bungie era list, doesn't make this a bad campaign at all. It's still really, really damn good, despite that cliffhanger ending that shook my world when I was younger. How the hell could a game end this good, end like that? Anyways, Halo 2 continues from Halo 1 and doubles down on storytelling hard. We get to see the perspective of the Covenant through the eyes of an elite, Fel Fadam, who becomes the Arbiter, essentially a weapon to be used by the Prophets to exert their will. Keith David is incredible as the voice of Arby. It's just sad we only have one quick scene between him and Chief. Marty is killing it again with the soundtrack, and who can forget the legendary addition of Steve frickin' Vai. Introduced and sadly forgotten a few games later was the concept of dual-wielding certain small weapons like the new SMG pistol, oh how I miss the Halo 1 Magnum, and a few Covenant weapons. Hijacking vehicles was also introduced and has become a staple since. New enemy types with the addition of brutes and buggers made the Covenant even more interesting to fight. This campaign also had a ton of variety. Halo campaigns always have variety, but Halo 2 benefits simply due to its split structure. We had two concurrent interwoven plots that simultaneously felt related but played very differently. From the tank versus Scarab section to the ODST drop to the Banshee chase, there was a lot in this campaign and it pretty much all felt fun and like it really belonged in the game. The difficulty on Legendary, however, is a bit unforgiving at times. It's caused by a few issues that were primarily a result of rushing, mainly that enemy damage and fire rate is too aggressive, and the hitboxes for guns like the plasma rifles are too big and basically impossible to weave around. And effectively, these are two reasons why the elites just instant kill you if you don't fight them from cover. And those damn one-shot killing Jackal snipers, man. Tough times. Anyways, if you include everything this game had to offer at the time, campaign and multiplayer, and nostalgia, then I consider it one of the greatest video games of all time. But sadly, it has to go to the bottom of the Bungie campaign for me personally. Out of all the Halos, the original might be the one I've played the most, probably because it's the oldest. I grew up with this game replaying the campaign solo and co-op on Legendary constantly. It's also the game to introduce me to inverted Y-axis controls, which I still use to this day. Why did I decide to try those controls in the first place? Who knows, I honestly just can't remember, but I never play without them now. Originally starting development in 1997 and being made as a third-person shooter for Mac, what would eventually become Halo changed drastically over time, becoming one of the greatest first-person shooters of all time, and essentially became baby's first-person shooter for consoles. It is the granddaddy. Halo Combat Evolved has amazing level design. I really love how non-linear and expansive some of the levels are, like the Silent Cartographer, Assault on the Control Room, and who can forget the Halo Ring. Plus, each level integrates the game's weapon sandbox and enemy classes in amazing ways. I also appreciate the story for its elegant simplicity. It was all truly mind-blowing stuff when I first played it. The game suffers slightly in the second half when you have to go through a few levels only backwards, but only it kind of makes the levels still feel different, even if they are essentially the same. Also, the Flood, as a young boy playing alone in the middle of the night on Legendary, experiencing the Flood for the first time still takes me back. It's sad what Halo has become today after starting out with one of the genre-defining games of all time. Halo Reach. Man, this is a hard damn list. It's like trying to tell your kids, who you all love, that you love some slightly more than the others. Halo Reach was Bungie's swan song for them with the Halo series. After releasing Halo 3 in 2007, Bungie split into teams to develop two different games, what would eventually become ODST and Reach. Moving away from Master Chief and going back in time to the fall of Reach, just before Halo 1, we are introduced to a group of Spartan 3's Noble Team. Probably the closest game to the original Halo in terms of gameplay, even bringing back health packs to regenerate lost health. The first game to introduce armor abilities that really changed up how you could tackle certain objectives. You have one for sprint to, well, run faster, active camouflage to become invisible, armor lock to avoid taking damage, a drop shield to regenerate health and to protect against a little bit of damage, evade, which is essentially just a dodge roll, hologram to send out a decoy to distract enemies, and of course the jetpack to hover around and get out of danger and reach high spots to take up overwatch positions to get a better angle on enemies. There's even an entire level dedicated to space combat, and it was so damn good that I still wonder why to this day there was never like a multiplayer mode for it. I mean, come on, for such a throwaway level, it was extremely fun flying around blowing up tons of Banshees and Phantoms. Every level also pairs you with a different member of Noble Team as you progress, and you get to bond with this team over a short time, even full well knowing how this story is going to end. Reach will fall, we will lose. But the way it ties together with the exact beginning of Halo 1 is beautifully done. And Marty and Michael's music, man, some of the best in the franchise. For me, hands down. I know a lot of fans don't like it, but I love it. It's a shame Bungie left the Halo franchise behind after this. They really could have taken this series to even more legendary heights. Instead, we got 10 years of Destiny. Halo 3 ODST. This is probably the one game on this list people may disagree with me on, but damn do I love this game. Bungie initially conceived ODST as a small side project to produce in the lull between Halo 3's completion and Halo Reach. Instead of featuring recognizable characters like the Master Chief, the developers focused on the ODSTs, Orbital Drop Shock Troopers. And since ODSTs aren't superhuman enhanced like Master Chief, they can't jump as high, move as fast, or survive big falls. Instead of regenerating shields, ODST uses a recharging stamina mechanic. After the player sustains damage, the screen flashes red and your stamina goes down. If you receive additional damage before your stamina can recover, your health is reduced, meaning health packs are back again, baby. Story director Joseph Staten penned a detective story utilizing film noir designs, settings, and characters. Composer Marty O'Donnell abandoned his previous Halo themes to create a quieter, jazz-influenced sound. And if I may say so myself, I think it's the best soundtrack in the Halo franchise. I still to this day have some of these songs on my playlist, especially for a rainy day. Structure of the campaign is the most unique of the series, with the city of New Mombasa from Halo 2 serving as a hub of sorts to explore and discover secrets and clues and hidden audio logs to what happened to your squad. As a lone human ODST soldier simply known as the Rookie, the goal is to discover what happened to your missing teammates. After finding a piece of evidence left behind, such as a sniper rifle hanging from a power line, the player will enter a flashback mission where they assume the role of the missing ODST hours earlier before you woke up from your drop pod crash. After the player has found the first piece of evidence, the choice of where to go next is left open. Campaign levels may be played in any order, but obviously there is a specific timeline order you probably should play them in. But the only downside I have for this game is its relatively short length, even on Legendary. There's also the firefight mode. I mean, this is campaign only, but this is the best firefight. It beats Firefight in Reach and every other version ever. Halo 3 ODST firefight is the best in the series, hands down. But anyways, as short as the game is for the campaign, it's still one of the most memorable for me, and I replay it all the time. Halo 3. Here it is, the perfect Halo campaign. In terms of gameplay and level design, Halo 3 is unmatched. Halo 2 had originally been intended to wrap up the story begun with Combat Evolved, but development difficulties led to a cliffhanger ending. Halo 3 picks up immediately where Halo 2 ended, with Chief pretty much falling from space on nothing more than a door and landing in Africa, where he discovers the Arbiter and a group of the Covenant have joined sides with the UNSC humans to take down the Prophets and stop them from firing the Halo rings. Gameplay variety is great here, and new to Halo at the time, which was further improved in Reach, was the use of equipment. While enemies rarely make good use of it, they now present a new wrinkle to the sandbox. Combat can now be altered by the smart use of tools like accessing higher vantage points with the gravity lift, or providing a buffer between you and enemies via bubble shield or regenerator. Offensive tools like the flare, trip mine, and power drain fill the role of hampering enemy defenses. Then there's the legendary, the bubble shield. Even a big meaty scarab can't blast through a damn bubble shield. Now, what makes Halo 3 the king of Halo campaigns, however, is the level design. I just have 2 words for you. The Covenant. No, not the alien, commune. I mean the level. It just has everything. Like, literally every kind of combat there is in Halo 3, the Covenant has. Boots on the ground combat in open spaces? Got it. Light vehicles? Check. Close quarters? No problem. Drones and hunters? Yep, those are there too. Flood combat? Yep, tons of that. Aerial combat? Got it. You want to drive a tank? Sure. Hey, remember those cool scarabs? Well, now you gotta fight 2 of them at the same time. And guess what? Now you're fighting alongside the Flood. And then 3 minutes later, you're fighting against them again. The Covenant has literally everything. That's not to undermine any of the other amazing levels in the game, like the Ark, and so on and so on. But if you want a level that truly defines what Halo campaigns are capable of, look no further than that level. Annoying slowdowns from Cortana constantly mindfucking you through the campaign. This was Bungie's magnum opus in terms of single-player campaigns, and sadly, they may never make another one again, as they are too focused on Destiny for the time being to even consider making other games with campaigns in it. And those are my Halo campaigns ranked. Probably a more agreeable list to my Call of Duty campaign rankings, with maybe one exception. I hope you enjoyed, so be sure to like and subscribe to check out more videos about everything video games. Talk to you later.